We're going to be talking about adjusting mechanical brakes on vintage Harleys. So we'll start off with the back wheel. And it's simple. As you brake, the linings on the brake shoes get worn, and so they have to travel the further distance. So that means you have to adjust the brake arm. So the first thing you need to do is take out this pin. And now you have the brake lever free. So what I do is I move the arm until I can just feel friction on the brake drum as I turn the wheel. And then I keep it there and I look to see if the two holes are lined up. In this case, they are lined up because I've just serviced this bike. So there they are. So basically, but if they're not lining up, then you loosen this nut here. You just take a screwdriver in here to hold it. You loosen the nut. And then you move as you screw the nut in. And then you can turn the clevis, I believe it's called. You can move that in to align with these two holes. And that is adjusting a rear brake. And then, some people like a brake to come on very quickly, and some people like a brake to come on after, having a little bit of period of time, and then the brake comes on. So it is a personal thing as well to how hard you want your brakes to work. But it's a very simple to adjust the mechanical brakes. So that is for the rear. We've now moved on to adjusting the brakes on a Hydra. And it's again a simple process where I would grab the cable, I'd pull on the cable until I can feel friction on the brake drum, and then I would move the adjusting bolt up, and when it's in the desired position, I then will screw down these two bolts and lock them together, and that will keep the adjusting bolt in place. And that's it. Now we're adjusting the brake on a Springer. So again, like on the rear brake, you have an arm. And when you've attached the clevis to it, here you have the adjuster. And you can see there's a little bit of play. So, with what you do is you just loosen these nuts here. Now, there shouldn't actually be a nut here. The reason is it's very, very common with these old bikes is the thread inside here is gone. So in this case, we have a nut either side. And it's quite a good idea to put that on anyway because it's just a little safer. So if your brake needs to be adjusted, you just loosen the two nuts and then you just tighten here. And when you've got it to the desired place, you then just tighten these two nuts. And one thing to say is after you've adjusted any of your brakes, if you're a little bit worried that they're a little too tight, you can go for a ride, and when you come back, if your drum is super hot, and I mean too hot to touch, then you know that you've over-tightened your brakes, and then you just do the opposite that you just did, and you loosen it. Now, if you've owned a Harley for a while, you would have learned by now that Harley-Davidson brakes are not the best. Now, I don't have an answer to make your brakes perfect. I have one little trick which we'll talk about in a bit, but the first thing is to talk about making sure they're adjusted correctly. Now, when you have adjusted it correctly down there, your brake lever should be able to move about a quarter of the distance traveled before the brake is activated. So then we'll go down to the actual brake. And this is where you adjust the brake. And it's simply, you just move it in and out to adjust it correctly. Now, another thing that's very important about your front brake is that you take good care of your brake cable. Make sure it doesn't have any crazy kinks in it, that it can move freely, and make sure that is well lubricated. And there's different ways of doing that, but just make sure that your cable is really well lubricated, so it will move freely. Okay, so how to best improve your Harley-Davidson brakes. Obviously for drum brakes. Originally they looked like this, and the pads were held onto the shoes by rivets. Do not use these. And especially, you can actually buy now a whole shoe with the pad installed. And I've bought them, and basically I've ridden down the road the first time, and this, as you can see here, they just crack and fall to pieces. And my brake actually slightly locked, so it's very dangerous. So even if you bought a brand new set of shoes and pads, I would take them off and take them somewhere and get, in the modern way, where they glue the shoes glue the pads onto the shoes. And if you're very lucky, maybe if you can find an old brake shop, they have some asbestos left, because if you can find some asbestos, that is what's going to make you really stop. Now it's going to eat away your brake drum, so if you've got some original brake drum you don't want to get damaged, maybe you take it off. But I buy new brake drums, get asbestos put on my shoes, the bike breaks, and then I know within a few seasons I will have to buy a new brake drum, but my bike stops. So you've had new pads installed in your shoes, and you put the brake back together. So now when you install everything back, this is where I think a very common mistake is made. It's something that people don't do, and that is that you need to center the brake shoes in the brake. And the way you do that is by activating the brake before you tighten it. So I use a quick grip clamp like this. Now the brake is activated. It's not tightened. So this anchor plate, which is this part right here, the anchor plate, is essentially loose. And this anchor plate is what holds the shoes in place. And now it's activated. The shoes are pushed out onto the drum, and it is centering the anchor plate with the brake drum. And then when it is activated, obviously this nut is not here, I'm just not going to take it to pieces for the sake. And then basically what you do is you then get this nut and you tighten this nut up right here. And that locks it down, and then the anchor plate is locked in place, and the drums, the shoes are centered with the drum. And then you'll get, and then the shoes will get a good surface on the drum.